Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. We've had a bit of a break because of the holidays, so we're back full swing into things. At our board meeting last night, the primary topics were the budget and the town meeting, one other discussion about parking. So regarding the budget, we had presented the fiscal 16 general fund budget recommendations to the board back in early December. The board had a workshop on December 10th and had some more discussion about it. Last night we had more discussion about it, and the board basically adopted the recommendations with some minor modifications. The budget will now proceed to the Finance Committee, where we will be reviewing it with them this afternoon, and they will then proceed to meet with various town departments about their individual budgets, the big 5 or 6 departments. And the preliminary budget numbers will be posted on the town website if they are not already there. I think they actually are. And we have an executive summary that we developed this year that gives people a hopefully good overview of what the budget will look like for the next fiscal year.
Can you give us a number?
It's around $80-ish million.
Yeah.
That's a general fund only, not excluding the enterprise funds. Those are coming a little bit later. And we feel like we're in a pretty good fiscal position, but we want to be conservative, don't want to throw money away and waste it and start things that we're not going to be able to finish. But we do have some things we need to do. We need to beef up the Department of Public Works. We have some programs that we want to get underway and some different staffing that we think is needed. For example, some of this is actually minor in dollars, but we established a part-time business inspector position last year. This individual inspects entertainment licensees, liquor licensees, taxis, and we're increasing that from part-time to full-time. There's a few things like that we're going to be doing. We also had a discussion about the 2015 annual town meeting warrant articles. There are 30 citizen warrant articles, and all the rest are town-sponsored articles, some for other departments. So we are going through the articles. The board took some out, put some in, made some modifications. They will discuss this again on January 21st, at which point the board is scheduled to adopt that warrant. It then gets published in the newspaper the following week, starts going through the Finance Committee process. The Finance Committee has already started reviewing the citizen articles and has actually come up with some motions for those. And the warrant will ultimately go to voters with all of the FinCom motions 2 weeks prior to town meeting, which starts on
April 5th.
Monday, April 6th. Close enough.
I guessed.
And so that's town meeting, and there will be maybe some other discussions here and there. No Saturday town meeting. It didn't work out this year because of Easter and the school vacation week and we like to have the election fall. So it's back to a Monday for this year. But we'll be back on a Saturday.
Do we have a new governor?
We do.
Is it today?
I think it's today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. I saw on Instagram that our Young Woman of the Year, Keziah Duart, was at the State House yesterday for the governor's, the walk he does, the lone walk down the stairs. She was able to observe that. That is so incredible. I would love to see that. Anyway, yes, so things are going to be very interesting. Now, we're going to hear more about this new governor. In a couple of weeks, the assistant town manager and I and our finance director are going to be attending an annual conference in Boston. It's called the Mass Municipal Association Annual Conference. All municipal officials in Massachusetts are invited. A lot of people go, selectmen, town managers, assistants, other types of elected officials, FinCom members sometimes go, city councilors, mayors, and there are usually appearances by a variety of state officials. There's a trade show where all municipal vendors tell you about why you should hire them for things. Actually, that is where we found our auditor. Anyway, it's a really good networking opportunity. It's a great chance to meet your peers, talk about what's going on in their towns.
Will you have a chance to actually meet the governor? Does he like to meet one-on-one?
I don't really know him very well.
Yeah.
What am I saying? I don't know him. So I don't know, but at one Mass Municipal annual conference that I went to, I entered the elevator as former Governor Weld was leaving the elevator, and I got to shake his hand.
Wow.
I'm sure he remembers it.
He comes out here.
Yeah, he chats. We're buds.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so we'll see. We might. It'll probably be a chance thing, though. I am going to a luncheon. It's called the WeMo luncheon, Women elected municipal officials or something like that, but appointed people can go too. And the lieutenant governor, I believe, is the speaker, who is a woman, Karen Polito. So that'll be very interesting. Anyway, it's going to be, we'll see how this goes. It's a new
Sounds interesting. I
thing.
wish I could go.
Gina, you can come if you want. Why not? Come on,
I'm
you can
not a
come
town
with us.
employee though.
We could pretend you're something.
I could do a lot of iPhone shooting.
Maybe you could.
Give them an insight on the.
You could. Maybe you could do a class about that. Maybe you could be our security personnel.
Sure.
That'd be cool. I must look when I'm up there. I usually am, I'm dressed kind of like this, and I have a clipboard a lot of times or a pad of paper, and I walk to the things. I've had at least 4 or 5 people approach me and say, "Do you know where the such and such shop is or the conference?" I must look like a info aide.
Yeah. Well,
I try to be helpful to them, and even if I don't know, I try to help them figure it out.
Exactly, you do.
Or I just tell them, it's right down that way. Hope for the best. Anyway, the other big thing that came up at our meeting last night came under board comments. One of the selectmen has a kind of a proposal that would require a permit in all vehicles to park downtown. Area yet to be defined, but downtown. Probably it would mimic the parking districts. And the idea was that revenue would be raised to cover the enforcement and other parking-related expenses needed for the downtown area, which would free up money in the town budget to be dedicated or used for things, for transportation-related things, such as year-round NRTA service, longer hours, extended hours during the night in the summer of the bus service, things like that. So this led, as you might imagine, into a longer discussion than might have been anticipated. I think what Bruce wanted to do was try to get a public hearing scheduled on this. But it progressed into a discussion about, if we want to raise money for extended bus service, let's just raise money for extended bus service via an operating override. So to make a long story short, the public hearing was not scheduled, and the board did schedule a discussion for January 21st. I'm trying not to sneeze right now. Don't you hate that when you can feel it coming?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm really trying hard not to.
Well, we can edit around it.
Okay. Now I've lost my train of thought.
Well, no.
Oh, the buses.
Yeah.
So January 21st, we are going to have a discussion with the NRTA administrator about what the costs of these various types of services might be. And then the board will consider placing a warrant article on the 2015 annual town meeting warrant to see what sums the town would raise to fund such a service, accompanied by a ballot question for an operating override. So we'll see how this progresses.
This isn't going to happen until next year anyway.
Well,
at the soonest.
it really wouldn't be able to happen because we wouldn't have the money, even if all of this passes.
Well, it could happen for the fall. Could we have the bus
Maybe.
run year-round?
I mean, I don't know how.
It would be one bus. It wouldn't be like a whole stream of buses.
No. I think the idea that one of the selectmen has was that it would be a continuous mid-island loop. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'm very skeptical about how many people are going to ride a year-round bus on the Mid-Island Loop. I don't really see people standing outside in 10-degree weather waiting for a bus, but they do in other places, I guess, so.
I know, but we
we'll
don't
see.
have, I mean, have you noticed how quiet, I mean,
Yeah,
there are
quiet.
cars down here, but, I mean, the restaurants are all closed.
A lot of them, yes.
I mean, this is the quietest
It is,
restaurant
it is.
season we've ever had.
Right. So we'll see how this discussion goes, I guess, on January 21st. At our meeting next week, it's Workshop Wednesday. It's morphed out of a little bit out of a workshop, but sort of into a workshop. We're having one workshop item, which has to do with harbor water quality, specifically as it relates to eelgrass habitat. We're going to have some different people coming in to talk about it, and then hopefully some direction to the Shellfish and Harbor Advisory Board to come back with some recommendations, maybe. We also have an HDC appeal. That's an official business item, not really a workshop item, but it's expected to take quite a while. So that's needed to be on a night when we didn't have a full meeting.
This is a big one? Do we know what
This is a big one. This is 29 Liberty, Liberty Street.
Yeah.
The
What's going
Matino
on?
house.
Oh, that one. That's
Yeah,
the big one.
that's the
Yeah.
big one.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's on. And I believe we are also scheduling some discussion about SBPF and the Concom and the appeal of the Concom,
Geotubes?
yeah,
Right.
that whole situation. I think we're gonna have a little bit of discussion about that. So that's what's coming up. Finance Committee is right into it. They meet several days a week to go over budgets, warrant articles, and other financial things in preparation for the town meeting. And lots of stuff going on. People say to me a lot, isn't winter kind of a quiet time for you? No, not
really.
at all.
No.
Not at all. Meetings
Not when
every
you
day
got
this week.
$81 million worth of business to take care of.
And
I mean,
that's
a
the
lot.
tip of the iceberg.
I know.
Yeah.
That's just the tip.
Yeah. So you had a good trip?
Had a great trip.
I missed you, Gino.
Well, I missed you too, Libby.
Did you?
You
We
bet
did.
I
We
did.
texted a couple times.
Yes.
You were slow on the texting, though.
I had some issues with my phone there.
Oh, did you?
Mm.
Well, it's halfway across the world, so.
Yeah, it was weird. It was overheating. I don't know why.
Oh.
They fixed it, but it's still, there's something
Interesting.
still wrong with
Didn't
it.
catch
A brand
fire
new
on
phone
you.
too, brand new.
Yes, your iPhone 6?
Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Gino went to the Philippines,
Indonesia,
Indonesia.
mostly Indonesia.
Oh, I thought you went to
And
the
Bali.
Philippines.
No,
Bali.
that's Indonesia.
So should we mention who you saw in Bali?
Yeah, Rob Garrison.
Rob Garrison, former Nantucket resident.
You got it. He's an expat. He's growing fish just like he did here.
Wow.
Was the first guy to grow oysters here
Oh, yes, right.
back in the
of course.
90s.
Yep.
And then, look where shellfish propagation.
So you're doing a whole show with him.
Oh, yeah. Really interesting.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. See you next time.